All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about one of the most critical skills you need to land that first Python job, Git and GitHub. And let me be clear, this isn't some nice to have on your resume, it's a fundamental requirement. So let's get you job ready.
I mean, that's the goal, right? Well, you're in exactly the right place. What we're covering today isn't just a bunch of theory. It's the actual bridge that will connect the skills you have right now to that first real job offer.
And look, I'm not exaggerating here. Whether you're aiming for back-end development, data science, or automation, knowing Git and GitHub is the absolute baseline. They just expect you to know it. Think of it as your passport into the world of professional coding.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with why this is so critical. Then we'll clear up that classic Git versus GitHub confusion. After that, we'll get into the essential commands and the professional workflow you'll use every day. And finally, we'll tie it all together to build an impressive portfolio and get you ready to absolutely nail the interview.
First up, let's talk about why this is the one skill you absolutely cannot afford to skip if you're serious about a career in this field.
So at its heart, Git is what's called a version control system. You know, you end up with files like project_final and then project_final_ for real? Yeah, Git is the professional way to stop doing that forever. It's basically a time machine for your code. It lets you rewind to any previous version, which is just incredibly powerful for undoing mistakes or even just experimenting without fear.
All right, let's tackle the number one thing that trips up beginners. It's a really simple difference, but it's so important to get it right from the start. Here's the simplest way to think about it. Git is the tool on your computer that tracks all your changes. GitHub is the website, the platform, where you upload your projects to store them online, share them, and work with other people. So Git is the artist's toolkit. GitHub is the online gallery where you show off your work.
Now, before we even talk about commands, you need to understand the mental model behind Git. I promise, once you get how it thinks, all the commands just click into place and suddenly make perfect sense.
Everything starts with the repository, or as everyone calls it, the repo. It's really just your project's main folder. When you run Git in there, it creates this hidden .git folder, and that little folder is the entire brain of your project. It's a mini database that tracks every single change you ever make.
Okay, next up is a concept that's a little weird at first, but it's crucial: the staging area. So before you create a save point, you have to tell Git exactly which changes you want to include. Think of the staging area like a shopping cart. You use the git add command to put specific changes into the cart before you head to the checkout.
And that checkout is the commit. A commit is the actual save point. It's a permanent snapshot of everything that was in your staging area at that exact moment. And each one is stamped with a unique ID, who made it, when they made it, and a message explaining what changed.
So when you put it all together, you get this fundamental workflow that you'll do, dozens of times a day. First, you do your work. You modify your files. Second, you stage the specific changes you want to save. And third, you commit those staged changes, creating that permanent snapshot in your history. Work, stage, commit. That's the rhythm of a developer.
Okay, that's awesome for working by yourself, but let's be real, coding is a team sport. So let's look at how this scales up for teamwork. This is the exact workflow used in pretty much every tech company on the planet.
And the absolute key to collaboration is a concept called branching. This is huge. If there's one thing you need to know for job interviews, it's this. A branch is basically a copy of your project where you can work in total isolation. It's like creating an alternate timeline to build a new feature or fix a bug without messing up the main stable version of the code.
This all leads us to the pull request, the heart of modern software collaboration. Here's how it works. You create your own branch, you do your work and make your commits there. Then you push that branch up to GitHub. Then you open a pull request, which is basically you saying, "Hey team, I'm done with my changes, can you please review them?" Your teammates look at your code, give you feedback, and once everyone's happy, your work gets merged into the main project. That's it.
Okay, so you get the tech, you get the workflow. Now let's talk about the fun part, how to leverage all this to get hired. We're going to turn your GitHub profile into a powerful signal that makes recruiters take notice.
First things first, a critical piece of professional hygiene, the .gitignore file. This is just a text file that tells Git which files to completely ignore. You never want to commit things like your virtual environments or, and this is the most important one, your secret keys and API keys. Pushing secrets to a public repo is a huge, costly rookie mistake, and after this, you're not going to make it.
Next up, your commit messages. Believe it or not, these are a part of your professional resume. Look at the difference here. Vague messages like update or fix stuff, they're useless. A good commit message is specific. It starts with a type like feat for a new feature or fix for a bug fix, and then clearly says what was done. This shows an interviewer that you communicate like a pro. And finally, let's put it all together and get you ready for that technical interview. Seriously, if you can confidently explain these next few concepts, you are going to be in a fantastic position.
Okay, here's a classic advanced question. What's the difference between git merge and git rebase? Here's the short version. Merge is straightforward. It takes two histories and ties them together with a new merge commit. It keeps the history exactly as it happened. Rebase, on the other hand, rewrites history. It takes your changes and replays them on top of another branch to create a cleaner, straight-line history. Knowing the difference shows a much deeper understanding of Git.
Now, this question isn't about a definition, it's about process. They want to know, can you actually do the work? Can you clearly explain that step-by-step process we just talked about? Creating a branch, pushing your code, opening the PR, getting a review, and merging. If you can walk them through that, it proves you're ready to contribute to a real-world team.
And for the real deep dive question, they might ask something like this. What's really happening when you run git commit? A killer answer here would mention that Git isn't just saving the difference. It's actually taking a complete snapshot of all your tracked files. It bundles them up, gives that snapshot a unique ID or hash, and then links it back to the previous commit, forming that unbreakable chain of history. Answering like that shows you don't just use the tool, you truly understand it.
And I want to leave you with this because it is the absolute truth. You don't have to be some algorithm wizard, but if your GitHub profile shows that you use version control like a professional, with clean repositories, clear commits, and consistent activity, recruiters will take you seriously. It's solid proof that you can hit the ground running from day one.
So here's your challenge. Don't just watch this, do this. Your mission for this week is to get 3 of your best, most serious projects pushed up to GitHub. Use branches, write professional commit messages, create a great README file for each. This is where your new career really begins. Your career starts now. Go for it.